Hi, I'm Sarah. Today, I'm going to read you the story of Emily, which is titled like this. Mom gave me an empty box for my birthday, saying, the perfect gift for someone who does nothing for her family. So, I filled it with all the receipts I had been paying for years and gave it back to her for her birthday. She called in tears. Well, let's go. My name is Emily, and I'm about to tell you about the worst birthday of my life. Well, it started as what I thought would be the best one. I was turning 30, which felt like a big deal, not in a bad way. I was actually excited about it. I owned 3 pizzerias in town, and business was good, really good. I'd worked my ass off for the past 8 years to build this from nothing, starting with just one tiny place that barely had enough room for 4 tables. Now, I had employees, fancy ovens, and customers who came back every week asking for Emily special. So, for my 30th, I decided to throw a real party, not some bar crawl or house party, but something nice at my main pizzeria, the first one I opened. I closed it down for the evening and hired a catering company to handle the food so I could actually enjoy myself. I invited about 20 people, my parents, David and Susan, my younger brother Jake, who's 26, my sister Mia, who's 24, plus aunts, uncles, cousins, and a few close friends. The party was set for Saturday night at 7. I spent the whole week getting ready, picking out decorations, making sure everything would be perfect. I even bought this gorgeous black dress that made me feel like $1,000,000. This was going to be my night. I got to the restaurant around 5 to make sure everything was set up right. My friend Sarah, who's basically like a sister to me, showed up early to help. This looks fantastic, she said, looking around. Your parents are going to be so proud. That made me smile. My parents had always supported my business dreams, even when everyone else thought I was crazy for dropping out of college to start a pizza place. Guests started arriving around 7. My Uncle Tom came first with his wife, Linda, then my cousin Rachel with her husband. My friend Mike from high school showed up with his girlfriend. Everyone was complimenting the setup, telling me how successful I looked, asking about the business. I was having a great time, but I kept checking my phone and looking toward the door. Where were my parents? Where were Jake and Mia? By 7:30, I was starting to worry. My family is never late to anything. My mom, especially, she's one of those people who shows up 15 minutes early to everything. I tried calling my dad's cell phone, but it went straight to voicemail. Hey, Dad, just wondering where you guys are. The party's already started. Call me back. I tried to focus on my other guests, but it was hard. My Aunt Linda kept asking where my parents were, and I had to keep making excuses. Oh, they're probably just running late, I said, forcing a smile. You know how traffic can be. But I didn't believe it myself. Something felt wrong. By 8 o'clock, I was genuinely freaked out. I excused myself and went to the bathroom to call my mom's phone. No answer. Then Jake's phone, straight to voicemail. Mia's phone, same thing. I started texting them. Where are you guys? Everyone's asking about you. No response. Mom, please call me back. I'm worried. Nothing. Jake, are you okay? The party started an hour ago. Read, but no reply. That's when the really terrible thoughts started creeping in. What if something had happened? What if they'd been in an accident on the way over? What if someone was hurt? I went back out to the party, but I couldn't concentrate on anything. People were making toasts, telling funny stories about me, but I felt like I was watching it all happen to someone else. Sarah kept giving me concerned looks, and my Uncle Tom asked if everything was okay. Around 8:45, just when I was about to excuse myself to drive to my parents' house to check on them, this guy in a delivery uniform walked into the restaurant. He looked around, then approached me. Are you Emily? He asked. Yes, that's me. I have a delivery for you. Someone asked me to bring this to your party. He handed me this box wrapped in shiny silver paper with a big white bow. It was about the size of a shoebox, but when I took it from him, I was surprised by how light it felt, like there was almost nothing inside. Everyone at the party gathered around as I held the box. Open it, Sarah said. Maybe it's from your parents. My heart jumped. Maybe this explained everything. Maybe they'd planned some kind of surprise, and that's why they weren't here yet. I carefully untied the bow and peeled back the wrapping paper. Inside was a plain white cardboard box. I lifted the lid, expecting to see something wonderful. The box was completely empty. I stared into it, confused. Everyone around me went quiet. I turned the box upside down and shook it, thinking maybe there was something small inside that I'd missed. Nothing. That's weird, my cousin Rachel said. Maybe there's a note, Sarah suggested. I checked the box again, looked at the wrapping paper, examined everything. There was nothing, just an empty box. I felt my face getting hot with embarrassment. Everyone was staring at me, waiting for an explanation I didn't have. What kind of sick joke was this? That's when my phone rang. I looked at the screen and saw Mom calling. Finally, "Excuse me," I said to my guests, my voice shaky. "I need to take this." I walked outside into the cool evening air, my heart pounding. I answered the phone with shaking hands. "Mom, where are you guys? Everyone's been asking about you, and I've been worried sick. Are you okay? Did you get our gift?" she asked, completely ignoring my questions. "You mean the empty box? That was from you guys." "Yes, that was from us. The perfect gift for someone who does nothing for her family." I actually had to lean against the wall of the building because my legs felt weak. "What are you talking about?" "I don't understand." My mother laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh, it was cruel. "Oh, I think you understand perfectly well. You remember last month at dinner, don't you, Emily? We asked you for help with something important to us, a family trip to Mexico, 2 weeks for all of us. And what did you say?" My heart sank as I remembered. They'd asked me to pay for a vacation for the 4 of them, my parents, Jake, and Mia. It would have cost about $15,000 total. "Mom," I explained that I couldn't do it right then. "All my money is tied up in the business right now. I'm expanding, buying new equipment, renovating the second location. I told you I could pay for a family trip at Christmas and even go with you guys." "Oh, yes, your precious business," she said sarcastically, "always more important than your family." "That's not fair. My business supports all of us, and I said I could do it later, just not right now." Later, always later with you. Do you know how embarrassing it was for us to have to tell our friends that we couldn't afford to go on vacation because our successful daughter wouldn't help us? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Mom, that's not what happened at all. I said I needed a few months to free up the money. Well, we decided to show you what it feels like to be disappointed." "How did it feel, Emily, opening that empty box in front of all your guests? How did it feel to be humiliated?" Tears started running down my face. I couldn't help it. "You did this on purpose? You humiliated me in front of everyone on my birthday because I couldn't give you money right away. Consider it a lesson," she said coldly. "Maybe now you'll think twice before putting your business before your family." I wiped my face with the back of my hand, trying to pull myself together. "I can't believe you would do this to me." "Oh, but we're not done yet," my mother continued. "You still have a chance to make this right. My birthday is in 2 weeks, and I'm expecting a very special gift from you, something that shows you've learned your lesson." "What kind of gift?" I asked, though I already knew what she meant. "I think you know exactly what I mean. $15,000 should cover it nicely for the Mexico trip you denied us." My mouth fell open. After everything they'd just put me through, they still expected me to pay for their vacation? "Mom, I have to go now," she interrupted. "But think about what I said, Emily. 2 weeks. Don't disappoint us again." She hung up. I stood there in the parking lot, holding my phone and crying. I couldn't believe my own family had set me up like this. They'd planned the whole thing, not coming to my party, sending the empty box, making me look like an idiot in front of everyone. I tried to pull myself together before going back inside, but everyone could tell something was wrong the moment I walked through the door. What happened?" Sarah asked, rushing over to me. "You look terrible." "Is everything okay with your family?" my Uncle Tom asked. I forced a smile and tried to act normal. Yeah, everything's fine. They just, they had an emergency they had to deal with. They sent their apologies. But I could tell nobody believed me. My face was probably still red from crying, and I kept glancing at that stupid empty box sitting on the table. The party pretty much fell apart after that. People started making excuses about having to get home early, needing to walk their dogs, having early meetings tomorrow. Within an hour, everyone was gone except Sarah. "Emily, what really happened?" she asked after the last guest left. I told her everything, about the phone call, about what my family had done, about the Mexico trip they wanted me to pay for. Sarah listened with her mouth hanging open. "Are you kidding me?" she said when I finished. "They did all this because you couldn't immediately drop 15 grand on a vacation for them?" "Apparently," I said. "That's insane and cruel. Who does that to their own daughter?" I shrugged. I didn't have an answer. Sarah helped me clean up, but I could barely focus. I kept replaying the conversation with my mother in my head, the coldness in her voice, the way she'd laughed when she asked if I'd gotten their gift. After Sarah left, I sat alone in my restaurant for another 30 minutes, just staring at that empty box. Then I called a taxi to take me home. I couldn't face driving. When I got to my apartment, I finally let myself really cry. I sat on my couch and sobbed until my eyes were swollen and my head hurt. The worst part wasn't even what they'd done to me. It was what my mother had said, that I did nothing for my family, because that was so far from the truth it was almost funny, except nothing about this situation was funny. For the past 2 years, I'd been paying my parents' mortgage payment every month, $1,800, like clockwork. I set up an automatic transfer so they'd never have to worry about it. I also paid their electric bill, their gas bill, their water bill. And it wasn't just my parents. I paid Jake's car insurance every month because he said he couldn't afford it. I paid the rent on Mia's apartment because she was between jobs for the past year. I bought groceries for all of them, helped with their credit card payments, covered medical bills. I did the math in my head as I sat there crying. Between the mortgage, utilities, and helping Jake and Mia, I was giving my family almost $3,000 every month, $36,000 a year. And they called that doing nothing for the family. By the time I stopped crying, it was past midnight. My birthday was officially over, the worst birthday of my life. But as I sat there in my quiet apartment, something changed inside me. The sadness started turning into anger. Then the anger started turning into something else, something harder. If they thought I did nothing for them, then maybe it was time to actually do nothing for them. The next morning, I woke up with puffy eyes and a headache, but my mind was crystal clear. I knew exactly what I had to do. I made myself coffee and sat down at my kitchen table with my laptop. First, I opened my banking app and went to the automatic transfer section. There they were, all the monthly payments I'd been making to my family, mortgage payment to my parents, $1,800 canceled, electric bill payment, $120 canceled, gas bill payment, $85 canceled, water bill payment, $65 canceled, Jake's car insurance, $180 canceled, Mia's rent, $950 canceled. I clicked through each one, canceling every single automatic payment. It felt weird, like I was cutting invisible strings that had been connecting me to them for years. Then I called my bank. "Hi, this is Emily Martinez. I need to request a full statement of all transfers I've made from my account over the past 2 years. Can you email that to me?" "Of course, Miss Martinez. We'll have that sent to your email address within 2 business days." After I hung up, I went to my filing cabinet and pulled out a big box where I kept all my important papers. I started going through it, looking for every single receipt and bill I'd paid for my parents, utility bills, property tax payments, insurance payments, medical bills, everything. It took me 3 hours, but I found them all. I made copies of everything and organized them by date. The pile was huge. I couldn't believe how much money I'd been spending on them. I put all the copies in the empty box my mother had sent me. It seemed perfect. They'd given me an empty box, so I'd fill it up with proof of everything I'd actually done for them. For the next 2 weeks, I felt lighter than I had in years. My restaurants were doing great. I'd been working on opening a fourth location, and without the constant drain of family expenses, I actually had the cash flow to move forward with it faster than I had planned. 2 days before my mother's birthday, she texted me, "Emily, I hope you've been thinking about what we discussed. I'm expecting you to make things right. My birthday dinner is Saturday at 6 p.m. I've told all my friends that you have a special surprise for me." I read the message and actually laughed out loud. She was so confident that I'd cave and give her the money. She probably thought the empty box trick had broken me down and taught me a lesson. I texted back, "Don't worry, Mom. I have the perfect gift for you." Saturday afternoon, I packaged up the box with all the receipts and bills. I wrote a note and put it on top of everything. "Since you think I do nothing for the family, I thought you should see exactly what nothing looks like. I've canceled all automatic payments to you, Jake, and Mia as of 2 weeks ago. No more mortgage help, no more utility bills, no more rent payments, no more insurance. You're on your own now. Happy birthday, Emily." I called the courier service and had them deliver it to my parents' house at exactly 6 p.m., right when her birthday dinner would be starting. Then I went home, put on my pajamas, made myself some hot chocolate, and turned on my favorite Netflix series. I settled into my couch with a big smile on my face, waiting for the fireworks to start. At 6:45 p.m., I got a notification that the package had been delivered. I turned my phone on silent and kept watching my show. By 7:30, my phone was lighting up constantly with calls and texts. First my mother, then my father, then Jake, then Mia. I could see the notifications popping up, but I didn't read any of them. I just kept watching TV and drinking my hot chocolate. The calls kept coming for hours. I could see my phone buzzing on the coffee table, the screen lighting up over and over again. It was almost funny how predictable they were. Around 10 p.m., I finally looked at my phone. 43 missed calls, 67 text messages. I didn't read any of them. I just deleted them all without opening them, then turned my phone completely off and went to bed. I slept better than I had in months. The next morning, I turned my phone back on. There were already 15 new missed calls and 28 new messages from overnight. I deleted those too without reading them. Around noon, my mother called again. This time, I decided to answer. "Hello, Mom." She was crying. "Emily, how could you do this to me? How could you be so cruel?" "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean, that horrible box you sent me." I was so embarrassed in front of all my friends. I took a sip of my coffee. "Oh, you mean the box with all the receipts showing how much money I've been giving you guys? What was embarrassing about that?" "I told everyone you had a special surprise for me, and then when I opened it at the dinner table, all those papers fell out everywhere." Everyone started asking questions. "What kind of questions?" "They wanted to know why you were paying our mortgage. Some of them were at your birthday party 2 weeks ago, and they remembered us not showing up and you getting that empty box." They put 2 and 2 together. I smiled. "That must have been awkward for you." "Emily, you can't do this to us. We're family. You have to help us." "Actually, Mom, I don't. You made it very clear that you think I do nothing for the family, so I decided to actually do nothing. Isn't that what you wanted?" "We didn't mean it like that. We were just upset about the vacation." "Well, now I'm upset about being humiliated at my own birthday party." Funny how that works. "Emily, please, we're sorry. We made a mistake, but you can't just cut us off like this." "Watch me." "But the mortgage, we can't afford the mortgage without your help." "Sounds like a you problem, not a me problem." She started crying harder. "Please, Emily, we'll do anything. We'll apologize publicly. We'll tell everyone we were wrong. Just please don't do this." "Too late, Mom. You had your chance to treat me with respect, and you chose to humiliate me instead. Now you get to live with the consequences." "But we're family." Family doesn't treat each other the way you treated me. I'm done. I hung up and immediately blocked her number, then blocked my dad's number, Jake's number, and Mia's number. A few days later, Jake showed up at my main pizzeria. I was in my office doing paperwork when my manager knocked on the door. Emily, your brother is here, and he's demanding to see you. He seems really upset. I sighed. I should have seen this coming. Let him in, but stay close by in case I need you. Jake burst through the door like a tornado. His face was red, and he looked like he hadn't slept in days. Emily, what the hell is wrong with you? You need to give me money for rent right now. My landlord is threatening to evict me. I didn't even respond. He stared at me. You're kidding. You've been paying my rent for over a year. You can't just stop. Actually, I can, and I did. He started pacing around my small office, getting more agitated. This is insane. I can't afford to live on my own. I need that money. Then maybe you should get a better job or a second job or learn to budget. I finally looked up at him. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. Then don't act like one. You're 26 years old, Jake. It's time to grow up. He stopped pacing and stared at me. I can't believe you're doing this to your own family. What happened to you? What happened to me? You guys humiliated me at my birthday party because I couldn't immediately drop $15 grand on a vacation for you. That's what happened to me. That was Mom's idea, not mine. And you went along with it. You didn't call me, you didn't text me, you didn't show up. You were all in on it. Jake ran his hands through his hair. Okay, maybe that was wrong, but this is too far, Emily. I'm going to lose my apartment. Then move back in with Mom and Dad. I'm sure they'd love to have you. You don't understand. Without your money, they can barely afford their own house. There's no room for me and Mia both. I shrugged. Sounds like you all need to figure out how to be independent adults. That's when Jake lost it completely. He started yelling and tried to sweep everything off my desk. I pressed the panic button under my desk, and within seconds, my security guards were in the room. Get him out of here, I told them calmly, and don't let any of my family members into this building again. As they dragged Jake out, he was screaming, "This isn't over, Emily. You can't do this to us." But it was over, at least for me. Over the next few weeks, Mia tried a different approach. She started texting me from different phone numbers since I'd blocked her original one. The messages started out angry, then became sad and pleading. Emily, please, I'm desperate. I have to move out of my apartment next week. I never did anything to hurt you. Why are you punishing me? I'm your sister. Please don't abandon me. I deleted every message without responding. If she wanted help, she could get a job like everyone else. Months passed later. I threw myself into my work and opened that fourth pizzeria. Business was booming. Without the family expenses, I was saving more money than I ever had before. I started taking actual vacations, something I'd never been able to afford when I was supporting 4 other adults. I heard through my Aunt Linda that Jake and Mia had both moved back in with my parents. All 4 of them were working now. My dad had taken a part-time job, my mom was working at a grocery store, Jake was doing construction work, and Mia finally got a job at a call center. They were struggling to make the mortgage payments, but they were managing, barely. My Aunt Linda tried to play peacemaker a few times, suggesting that maybe enough time had passed and I should consider forgiving them. But I wasn't interested. They'd shown me exactly how they really felt about me, and I wasn't going to forget that. 6 months after my birthday disaster, I was at my newest restaurant, checking on the evening rush, when I saw a familiar figure through the window. It was my mother, standing outside on the sidewalk, just staring at the building. I watched her for a few minutes. She looked older, more tired. Her hair was grayer, and she'd lost weight. But I didn't feel sorry for her. She'd made her choices. After about 10 minutes, she walked away without coming in. That happened a few more times over the next couple of months. She'd show up at one of my restaurants and just stand outside, never coming in, never trying to talk to me. I think she was hoping I'd see her and feel guilty enough to come outside and talk to her. But I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. A year after my 30th birthday, I was doing better than ever. I'd opened a fifth pizzeria and was considering franchising my business. I was dating someone new, a great guy who owned his own construction company and actually paid for his own dinners when we went out. I heard through the family grapevine that my parents had managed to keep their house, but just barely. Jake and Mia were still living with them, all of them working to make ends meet. They'd given up on their dream of vacationing in Mexico, obviously. Sometimes I wondered if I'd been too harsh. Sometimes I thought about calling them and seeing if we could work things out. But then I'd remember standing in that parking lot on my birthday, crying while my mother explained how they'd planned to humiliate me. I'd remember the empty box, the cruel laughter in her voice, the way she'd called me selfish for not immediately handing over $15,000. And I'd remember how good it felt to finally put myself first for once. I'm not sure if I'll ever forgive them. Maybe someday, if they really change and show me that they understand what they did wrong. But I'm not holding my breath. For now, I'm happy with my life. I have my businesses, my friends, my boyfriend, and my freedom. I don't have to worry about anyone taking advantage of me anymore. I learned something important that year. Just because someone is family doesn't mean they have the right to treat you badly. And just because you can help someone doesn't mean you should, especially if they don't appreciate it.